want to do bow hunting. And I see two other younger gentlemen here too. I presume they're all hunters. And we're all in the same boat. We don't want to see this disappear. Like a bunch of the other village people were saying, um, west of State Park Road, what has changed? I mean, a few buildings have changed, but what prompted this to come?
I think when we get to that, I don't know, there'll be some clarification
Yeah.
for everybody,
I
but
mean, I understand, from what I was told, two different people. My parents were the people that owned North Shore where the subdivision is going. 65 houses. If you're, I was reading some of the literature that I printed off online from the Village of Harrison. And, it says you guys are concerned about public safety. Through the dealings of North Shore and the 65 lots that are getting built over there, we were told that the DOT doesn't plan on upgrading any of the roads around here. Because they're just not. And Tom Dirks is the builder, the developer over there. You know, they figure 65 houses times 2 cars, you know, your roads can't handle that. So where I'm going with that is how far is the residential is gonna come this way? If the DOT isn't gonna plan on building any of our infrastructure, rebuilding the roads to accommodate more cars, what concerns do we have for public safety and using a rifle or a bow or whatever have you? You know, that's what I look at. You know, I'm all for protecting the public. And some of these other members here said, you know, hunter safety. I mean, know what you're shooting at, know what direction, you know, and it's common sense. I mean, I hope we'll have one on the road of banning firearms in the proposed area. But I gotta protect my lifestyle too. Along with that, I think it was 2 years ago, Kevin County Sheriffs were on their call list. We ended up getting 7 deer from them just in this area from roadkills. Now without hunters, how many more are we gonna have? You know, all it takes is 1 deer to hit that car wrong and someone's dead. It's a chance. I understand it's a chance that could happen. But we hope it don't happen. But I hate to see something happen. And I like to continue hunting on the land that my dad has always owned. So that's all.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If I could add one thing that I forgot,
Sure.
there was a point in time, I'll be very brief, there was a point in time when us local boys were actually called into North Shore golf course to get rid of the deer. They actually called us and wanted us to come. And we made drives to get rid of the deer because they were causing so much damage. And this is totally gonna escalate. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wanna come and talk that hasn't signed up? Okay, next up, we have reports. With all the reports, I guess I'm gonna identify each one. If there's any comments on the reports, I guess we'll move on. So first up, we have the fire rescue report. Is there any questions on that report? No. The Calumet County Sheriff Department report. Any board member have any comments or questions about that report? Village manager report, which includes the planning and zoning report. Any questions? The finance director treasury report, budget and finance reports. Any questions or comments? Trustee Lancaster.
Thank you. Just a question for our finance director on budget comparison. Now that we're past the audit, do we have some processes in place there's several items that were missing a lot of revenue, and it's probably just deducting my item, making journal entries. So we have a better picture where the related finances are.
We are waiting on one other journal entry from the auditors to help us get a better template for some of the tax roll. So as soon as our August settlements occur, you'll see a little more application. So
Thank you.
Any more questions on that? Not, the Public Works Engineering Parks and Trails report, any questions from the board on that report? Next up, we have the Harrison Utility Report, any questions on that one? Trustee Lancaster?
And you just question on the parks. With our temporary or reopening the bathroom with reduced hours, just wondering how that's been going.
It's been going all right. We haven't had any more issues during that time frame, so we'll monitor it and slowly open it up. And see if we can deal with issues as they come up, but the 9 to 2 has been working all right. We did have some issues this past weekend with some rentals there. And after the 2 o'clock, but we worked through that, so I think it's not obviously happening during the 9 to 2, I don't know what it's happening. You're okay, thank you.
Trustee Van Hefty?
Chad, you ever thought about having I understand that the feces has been sprayed on the walls for the last 4 weeks, several times a week at the Darway Community Park, and it's such a nice park. I live a block away from there, and a lot of people use it, and I'm just looking at, have you ever thought about putting together a community task force, for the watch committee to patrol this park? That way we to be able to open these resources more often, if we had more eyes on the situation. So we would put together like something like that.
I've had discussion with a couple of property owners in that area. They've gone around and talked to people and tried to get people interested, and didn't have a lot of luck. It was really related to kind of adopting the park and adopting the stormwater pond to the north. But if there's anybody that's willing to kind of spearhead that in the neighborhood, we're happy to work with them, and I think more eyes on it would be helpful, because if we had somebody checking every couple hours, or every hour, that would be better. And that's hence the reason why we said see something, say something, because even if there's walkers and other people using the park and they go in there, they need to report that stuff, so we can get a window to look on the cameras to see if we can see who the people are, because it's hard to use cameras when 30 people are going into the restrooms over the course of a period.
Right. I know a lot of pickleball people play there daily, and they also do a lot of walking around the trails over there, so I'm gonna talk to a lot of people and try to get a list together,
That sounds good.
if you don't mind.
Share with me and we'll work on it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Next up, we have approval of bills and claims for July 2025. Looking for a motion in a second. Says here July 2025. Should be June, okay. Should be for June, not July. Thank you for that.
I'll second.
So I got a motion by trustee Teal and a second by trustee Baldwin. Any discussion? Trustee Lancaster.
Question for the attorney, can we vote on these since it was posted as July versus June? The only change is just the date and the wire that couldn't be. Just making sure, yeah, I don't think there's any changes to the bills. Notice it's June.
I mean, items are going out in the packet, so it's not like. It's not the right bills and claims for it.
I should just make a comment that just the overall agenda has the wrong date, but the proposal that I put together does say June 2025 bills for claims.
Thank you.
I'm good, thank you.
So with that, let's go ahead and vote our ballots. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up, we have old business. Looks like we don't have any old business. Moving on to new business. 11A.
So this is a conditional use permit for Tom Rappers and 7190 Highway 114, parcel 38744. And the motion is to approve a conditional use for a water closet in a detached accessory building with the following conditions. One, the detached accessory building shall not be used as a secondary dwelling per section 117-59, 54A9. Number two, the detached garage shall follow the blueprints as submitted with the approved zoning and building permits. And number three, the conditional use permit shall be non-transferable.
Trustee Teal. Or I'm sorry, trustee Baldwin.
Thank you. Chad, this is just a question for you. It looks like this came before the plan commission because it says plan commission meeting at the top. But I think last time we talked about just putting whether or not they've approved it, so that we know.
I'm sorry, I forgot to do that. Yes, I will make sure going forward we do that. You approve all the items that you have before you this evening.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion in a second?
I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use permit for Tom Rovers and 7190 Highway 114 parcel 38744.
Trustee Van Hefty.
I'll second
So we got a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Van Hefty. Any discussion? Trustee Lancaster.
Thank you. I'm gonna make a motion to amend it to remove condition number 3, that conditional use permit shall be non-transferable. My reason for making that motion to amend is I feel that's reasonable. Because this person would ever go to sell their property. What are they gonna do after the toilet that's here? That just doesn't make any sense to me, so.
The point of having that in there is so that somebody, that the next owner doesn't come in and doesn't know the requirements and converts it to a housing. Or a living space in the building, or like a, you know, an office space becomes a living quarters.
But don't we have building permit requirements for just any kind of construction and that might?
We do, but we don't, if we don't know about it. They just do it. This condition has been on every one of these water closet for approvals that have come forward since I've been here and beyond, so.
You still want to continue with your motion?
Someone cannot set to me if they don't want to, but I do, and I just feel it's a zoning change that if we work through some of that, then that needs to get looked at because it just creates. Issues, I think, too, on their side, so.
Any second on his amendments? Going once, going twice. Okay, there is not a second to that motion, so the motion is on the table for item 11A. Please vote your ballot. And the motion passed unanimously. Next up, we have 11B.
This is a conditional use permit for Troy Frederickson and 9586 Vice Road, parcel 42314. The motion is to approve a conditional use permit with the following conditions for a water closet in a detached accessory building for Troy Frederickson and 9586 Vice Road. Number one, the detached accessory building shall not be used as a secondary dwelling for section 117-54A9. Number two, the detached garage shall follow the blueprints as submitted with the approved zoning and building permits. And number three, the conditional use permit shall be non-transferable.
Okay, I'm gonna need a motion in a second. Trustee Van Hefty.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the conditional use permit Troy Frederickson N 9586 Vise Road, parcel 42314 is printed circulated.
Trustee Brandmeier.
I'll second it.
So we got a motion by trustee Van Hefty and a second by trustee Brandmeier. Any discussion? If not, go ahead and vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up, we have 11C.
This is a site plan review for Farmers Field Pavilion, West 5807 Manitowoc Road, parcel 33524. And the motion is to approve the Farmers Field site plan for the new pavilion.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion in a second here. Trustee Baldwin,
Thank you. Motion to approve the Farmers Field site plan for the new pavilion.
trustee Theo.
A second.
So we got a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Theo. Any discussion? If not, go ahead and vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up, we have 11D.
This is a certified survey map for Duluth Development, West 5896 Edgewood Drive, parcel 46672. And the motion is to approve the certified survey map for Duluth Development, West 5896 Edgewood Drive as printed and circulated.
Trustee Baldwin, sorry. Trustee Van Houten,
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the certified survey map CSM Duluth Development W5896 Edgewood Drive. Parcel 46672 is printed and circulated.
and trustee Theo.
Second that.
So we got a motion by trustee Van Houten and a second by trustee Theo. Any discussion? If not, go ahead and vote your ballot. And if you're wondering why I keep looking back, our TV is not working in front of us, so I have to turn to announce the results here. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up, we have 11E.
This is award of contracts for the new fire station 70 site work, utility, general construction, HVAC, electrical and plumbing. And the motion is to approve the following contracts for the new fire station 70 building. The site and utility to Myron Construction for $1,219,365. General construction to Myron Construction Company for $5,649,501. HVAC to Johnson and Johnnet for $1,062,700. Electrical to VOE Power Systems LLC for $894,129. And plumbing to IKM Building Solutions for $662,001.
And we're gonna be looking for a motion in a second.
If I may, Chair, before you do that, so the contracts are before you for the 6 contracts that were bid. There's only 5 here. We did not receive a bid for the fire protection services, so we will go back out on the market and do that. I would also add, kind of direct your attention to the memo related to the alternatives. Alternate 1 was to add the 2 additional apparatus bays, and alternate 2 is to add remodel or build out the living quarters. Staff is recommending the board consider the bids before you, as well as adding alternate 1 and 2. The costs related to all those are outlined in the attached memo, and I can answer any further questions.
Trustee Lancaster,
I'm going to make a motion to award the 5 base bids for the total of $9,487,696. And as well, alternate number 1, per staff recommendation to provide all labor and materials to construct the 2 additional apparatus bays. And alternate number 2, to provide all additional labor and materials to complete the living quarters area as described in the construction documents. For the total project cost with all contingencies, which there's considerable, about $2 million in contingencies here for the memo. But total of $11,772,326. Funded per all the details in the memo as well for the sources of funding.
trustee Baldwin.
I'll second the motion.
So we have a motion by trustee Lancaster and a second by trustee Baldwin. Any discussion?
If I can ask, so Robert from Wendell is online. Robbie, can you, is the total 11,772,000, or is it the 12 million, whatever you, 12,300,000?
Sure, I can kind of go through that. So obviously there's soft costs and so on and so forth. So with all the base bids and all of the alternate one and two, and when you go through it all, that includes a bunch of allowances for $100,000 for winter conditions. If we don't use it, it's yours. Obviously, we'll need some winter conditions. It includes about 200 and some $1,000 of soils corrections. All likelihood, we won't need that. So again, if we don't use it, it's your money. You keep it. But if you include all those with all of the alternates included in the total project cost, the number I have is about 12.350 with all of those alternates included. The base bid without the alternates was 11,101,000 is what I had in the calculations. So
What I would recommend is that the board would approve it at that 12.3. I took out some of those costs. Because we're working on some of those, there's allowances in there, so it's gonna be fairly close, I'm pretty sure, of where our budget is at 11.5, 11.7 million, because they had like 300,000 for fixtures and furniture, and Jared and I are working on some bids, and it's roughly 150,000. So there's a number of stadiums that will come out of there. So I guess, for the board's sake, the 12.3 million is everything with all of the allowances in there. But in the end, the project is obviously gonna be a lot less, given the fact of what's built in there. When I said there's almost $500,000 between soils and unsuitable soils and the winter conditions. Yes, we'll need some winter condition costs, but not that much money, so.
the other thing that I was holding as an estimate for that bid package number 6 on the fire protection, I put $150,000 allowance in there until we get a bid. We just had another project bid in southern Wisconsin. It was sub 150, under $150,000. So I think there's some fluff in there as well. So this is kind of a worst case scenario that you have in front of you that I have with some contingencies and stuff. Once we get out of the foundations, once we get bid package number 6 bid, then that'll firm up.
Concern is that we have a budget for the plan, which is 11.5, and now we're at 12.35. So now we're saying, okay, we're gonna approve beyond what we budgeted for the two alternatives. So that's kind of where I'm at, unless we make a budget amendment along with this. I'm fine with
I would
the
say
process.
let's go with 11.7 million, that's what we have understand and laid out in the budget impact, and if we need to, we can deal with it as we go, because I think there's a lot of fluff built into these numbers.
And that's fine, but I would just want to say that any overtures, we need to have a budget amendment.
You understand?
Okay, thank you.
We will bring that back to the board as needed.
So. Any other discussion? Trustee Theo. And if you could, when you're done speaking, can you turn your mic
Yeah,
up, please?
it looks like the motion is to approve the contracts, not the total budget, right?
That is correct.
And that, including the alternate 1 and 2, I believe is the number of states or 9. Back to it. The 9487696.
The 9487676, I don't believe includes the alternate 1 and 2.
That's correct.
That's just the base bid.
I don't think so. Because the base bid says the first one, site utility, 1,202,155 is the base bid amount recommended, plus alternate 1 is the 1,219,365 in the total column.
The 9,487,696 does include all the alternates in the contracts. So if we were accepting the alternates, that's what the contract amounts would be written for. If you didn't accept the alternates, like say you decided not to do number two, those numbers would go down, number one would go down. So the memo that we have and the numbers that are in the memo that you have in your packets that Chad sent me at 9,487,696 have the base bid plus alternate number one and number two approved.
Okay, so then if you approve those contracts as stated, then we're good.
And then we can deal with going forward,
Those are the,
admin packages, additional costs.
a lot of those things in that additional costs are stuff that you're gonna be taking up independently. So one of the items on the agenda later on is about awarding the fire protection system and camera system. That was an allowance in that $2 million of contingencies out there. So that's the kinds of things that we'll be bringing back to the board, and that will be part of that process.
Okay.
So at this point, to trustee Fields, if you awarded at 9,487,696, that will be all of the base bid plus alternate 1 and 2 for each of the contracts. So that's what we need to do tonight.
Okay, so we don't need to do the 11. Okay, so with that being said. I guess I would ask that we withdraw our motions and restate them. Trustee Lancaster.
So moved, I'll withdraw my original motion.
And hold on, before we do that. Are you gonna withdraw your second? Okay, so let the record show that both the motion and the second on the original motion has been withdrawn. Go ahead.
Okay, then I make a motion to approve the 5 base bids. That also includes alternate number 1 to provide all labor materials to construct the 2 additional apparatus bays. Also includes alternate number 2 and provide all labor materials to complete the living quarters area as described in the expression documents with the base bid plus alternate number 1 and number 2. Contract to Myron Construction for shed utility for $1,219,365. For general construction to Myron Construction for $5,649,001. HVAC to Johnson and Joanne for $1,062,700. Electrical to Vogue Power Systems for $894,129. Plumbing to ITM Building Solutions for $662,001. Total cost $9,487,696.
Trustee Holden.
I'm sorry, second, that's what I.
Okay, so we got a motion by trustee Lancaster and we have a second by trustee Baldwin. Any more discussion? Any more discussion? If not, go ahead and vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up, we have item 11F.
This is the acceptance of Steamboat Lane, Gemstone Court, and Gemstone Circle for Lexington Homes LLC. And the motion is to approve acceptance of Steamboat Lane, Gemstone Court, and Gemstone Circle.
Looking for a motion in a second here. Trustee Baldwin,
Yes, motion to approve the acceptance of Steamboat Lane, Gemstone Fort, and Gemstone Circle.
trustee Brandmeier.
I'll second it.
So we got a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Brandmeier. Any discussion? If not, please vote your ballot.
Trustee Baldwin.
All right, motion passes unanimously. Next up, we have 11G.
This is the acceptance of outlots 1 and 2 in Jewel Box Estates from Lexington Homes LLC. And the motion is to approve acceptance of outlot 1 and 2 in the Jewel Box Estates.
Trustee Theo,
I make a motion to approve the acceptance of all lot 1 and 2 in the Jewel Box Estates.
trustee Van Hefty.
I'll second it.
So we got a motion by trustee Theo and a second by trustee Van Hefty. Any discussion? If not, go ahead and vote your ballot. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Next up, we have I,
I think we've got H first.
H, I'm sorry.
Approval of the Public Works office furniture bid. And the motion is to approve the quote from EBI for office furniture in the Department of Public Works for $7,784.70.
Okay, trustee Lancaster,
I'll make a motion to approve the quote from EBI for office furniture in the Department of Public Works for $7,784.70.
trustee Brentmeyer. I'll second it. So we got a motion by trustee Lancaster and a second by trustee Brentmeyer. Any discussion? If not, go ahead and vote your ballot. And that motion passes unanimously. Now we're on 11I.
Approval of natural gas facilities installation by the Energies for Crossroads Business Park. And the motion is to approve natural gas facilities installation in Crossroads Business Park for $32,523.54.
Trustee Baldwin,
I'll make a motion to approve the natural gas facilities installation in Crossroads Business Park for $32,523.54.
trustee Theo.
I'll second that.
So we got a motion by trustee Baldwin and a second by trustee Teal, and is there any discussion? Trustee Lancaster,
Can you have any idea what their tax is for installing this?
Their plan is to start ASAP. One thing I should note is the natural gas has refunds, so as new services go in, the village will get a refund back on these. Based on public service requirements, but that does not happen for electrical, it only happens for gas.
thank you, I didn't know that, appreciate it. Any more questions or discussion? All right, go ahead and vote your ballot. Okay, the motion passes unanimously. Next up, we have item 11J.
This is approval of electrical facilities installation by We Energies for Crossroads Business Park. And the motion is to approve electrical facilities installation in the Crossroads Business Park.
Trustee Theo,
I'll make a motion to approve electrical facilities installation in Crossroads Business Park.
trustee Van Hefty.
I'll second it.
So we got a motion by trustee Theo and a second by trustee Van Hefty. Any discussion? There being no discussion, please vote your ballot. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up, we have 11K.
This is approval of contract with McMahon to complete conceptual planning for the Village Hall build-up for $11,000. And the motion is to approve the contract with McMahon to complete conceptual planning for Village Hall for $7,000.
Trustee Lancaster,
I'm actually gonna make a motion on this to table this and send this back to staff. Once we get to this, because I believe we should be exploring some other options first, and I can explain when we get to discussion.
so we need a motion of some sort if we're gonna table it. I guess what would you like to discuss before someone makes a motion?
So because this wouldn't be until 2027, and I know we have a lot of other projects going on, and I understand that part of this is to have a more public conference room space available to not have the public be going into our secured areas where our staff's working, where there could be confidential information, et cetera, et cetera. That I believe staff should be exploring if there's some portable divider type options. That we could actually put into our budget for 2026, that as of January of 2026, they could be doing something here. Already to address those security concerns.
So I guess my only comment is we just saw yesterday a guy go into a building in New York and start shooting the place up, and we need a secure place. We just can't have temporary dividers. So I guess I'm gonna leave it to the board for someone to make a motion in a second, and I guess when the project plan actually comes out and a plan, then we can modify that plan once they come forth. So this is just a contract just to get the wheels going to do all the planning, so. Trustee Lancaster.
I guess part of that is my reasoning to why we need to do something sooner rather than later versus a 2027 construction. We can't divide this up into office space and things when we're still meeting here, and so that's why we spend money on contract to hold this for a month for staff to be able to do a little research on, is there something to take the public out of their secure areas more immediately?
It's up to the board what you wanna do with this. I just wanted, I know there was some requests in the past from staff to look at this, so I just was lining it up, and we can't do anything major in 2026 because we borrowed money already for 126 projects, so the earliest we would be able to do something would be 2027 and beyond, and I have no idea what it's gonna cost to even put into the capital improvements program. Hence the reason why I thought it made sense to do some conceptual planning just to see what we're looking at for costs.
Okay, trustee Brandmeier.
Well, if we do a conceptual design now, cost is gonna be way off in years from now.
Sure, but we can have the consultant figure in inflation and add some inflation factors for the future years. That's what we do in our 5-year road planning.
No motion or a second? Okay, I guess, I'm curious what the board wants to do about.
I was gonna make a motion for,
Alright, so,
I was gonna make a motion for the approval of the contract man to complete the conceptual planning for the village hall build for 11,000. Like I said, this is just the conceptual planning part of it. It's not like we're awarding contracts here. So we have to plan ahead.
trustee Baldwin.
Second that.
Okay, we've got a motion by trustee Van Happy and a second by trustee Baldwin. Discussion? Matt? Hold on, let me get your mic on. You wanna push your button again? Oh, okay, trustee Brandmeier?
I get for 2027 budget. We have a big project going on in 2027 also. I do not want to spend a ton of money. I get it, you guys need a secure area here. But Station 60 needs to be redone also. Because I do not want the firefighters walking up that door because we don't do anything.
The plan is to still do that, and the plan is to also look at the conversion of Station 70 into something as well. I don't see that this is gonna be all that much because most of it's gonna be office furniture and a few walls. The biggest part is probably HVAC issues. So whether it happens in 27 or 28, that's up to the board to decide when you feel comfortable doing it. We can get those other projects done. I just don't know what the cost is gonna be to do it, and that's the reason why I'm proposing to do some conceptual planning just to see what it's gonna cost to do this. Maybe we don't ever move forward with it, but at least we know what it's gonna be to do some security enhancements here.
Well, I get it, you need security because coming in
We
here,
have some issues at the front lobby too that need to be addressed as part of that, so.
correct, well, Moody's out there these days, okay? I get it.
Trustee Deal.
Chad, does this conceptual design include a space study requirement?
Well, we have,
Space requirement study, if you will.
sorry, we're having technical issues with the Zoom as well, so I'm trying to balance both. But we do have the space requirements that was done as part of the facilities plan that SEH did before we started all this stuff. So we know what the space needs are for future growth. So they would take that information and then kind of modify the footprint in here to see how we can get all this stuff to happen here. So that space planning has already been done, and they would use that then to kind of the final plan of what would need to be done to actually renovate.
Okay. Trustee Lancaster.
Thank you. So I understand the needs, here. I think we're a long way out, and I would just still reiterate that I would like to see us wait for 1 month to give staff a chance to see if there's some kind of other dividing walls or that can be here to make this into a movable conference room to address security concerns more immediately and not be relying on construction in 2027 or 2028. Maybe that kind of furniture doesn't exist. I don't know. That's why I just would like to see that looked at. So we're making an intelligent decision here as well. Thank you.
My only comment, Matt, would be that I think you need a permanent solution, and that's what we're doing here. There's nothing precluding us from, by the time having that discussion when we sit down in the month of September and talk about priorities, to put something more permanent to bridge the gap between now and when we have something more permanent. So, okay, if there's not any more discussion, go ahead and vote your ballot. And the motion passes with 1 nay. Next up, we have 11L.
This is the approval of proposal from Tax Security for key fob systems, cameras and video monitoring for new fire station 70. And the motion is to approve Tax Security to provide key fob system, cameras, security and video monitoring at the new fire station 70 for $39,873.71.